and welcome back to another Sims 4 YouTube video. Today we're going to be doing a different mod review today, which is covering MC Command Center. If you all probably play The Sims, you probably know what MC Command Center is, but I will say this is one of the beasts of the Sims 4 mods. This mod, literally, there's so much to it. There's so many things that you can do within this mod that sometimes it's overwhelming when you first download it as to exactly how to work it. I remember when I first downloaded it, I was like, where do I even begin? But I've gotten used to it, and I figured I would do a breakdown to the best of my abilities, as like from what I understand of the mod. There are so many things still that you can do within this mod that probably could be a whole video in and of itself. But today I figured we would do kind of like a breakdown of MC Command Center, and hopefully this will help you, figure out how to work the mod. But if you have the mod, maybe you can learn something new within this mod. So let's get into today's mod review. If y'all have been keeping up with my Sims 4 channel, you will probably recognize this apartment from our burglary video, but I just used it to show you off MC Command Center. So there's two ways that you can access MC Command Center. One through your Sims and the other one through the computer. So if I click on my Sim here, you'll see this MC Command Center, and I can click on the mod and it will bring up all of the stuff that I can do through my Sim. There's other stuff that you can do through your computer in MC Command Center that you're not able to do through your Sim. So I do want to show you those both, but what we're going to focus on right now is what you can do with your Sim. So the first thing that I really love about MC Command Center is the ability to be able to access casts anytime. If you click on this button, it's going to bring you into casts, and you're able to basically change your Sims looks wherever you're at. In the Sims 4 world, you don't have to necessarily have a dresser. You can basically change their outfits, through MC Command Center, and then if you just hit the little check mark button, it brings you back to the location that you were at. The next thing that you're able to do through Sim commands is basically, again, you can modify their appearance and cast. You can set their age to make them, an infant to elder. You can also set days and age span as well. I won't be messing around with that. But you can also maintain Sim, which is basically renaming them if you want to rename your Sim. Sometimes with babies, you can't rename a newborn in the Sims, but you can rename an infant and up, and basically you just might have to wait a couple days. But if you want to rename your Sim, you're able to do that. You can delete them, you can kill them. You can also move the Sim to another household. Gender preference, you could swap their gender. You can swap gender complete, and then you can get a random job. So these are just things that you're able to do that you would probably have to take a little bit more time to type in all of those codes in the, white bar in the Sims that you can just do with a click of a button. So it makes gameplay 10 times easier, in my opinion, to be able to just come in here and be like, you know what, I want to move my Sim, or I want to rename them, or I want to have them swap genders. You can do that at the click of a button. After the Sim commands comes MC Casts. Now, this is a section that I've really not messed with, but again, it is here if you need it. You can basically copy and paste, which I'm not exactly sure what that does, but I guess you can copy things from your Sims onto another Sim. So that is something that you might want to mess around with. I've never messed around with this, but you can also manage their traits. So if you wanted to add a trait, change personality traits, and remove a trait, you can do that. Again, if you have UI cheats, you can also do that through the trait window on your Simology board and just hit remove it, and then you can add another one, but you're able to do that on here as well. You can also have a random body part value, randomize appearance by template. You can select their favorite drink, which is a big one, because I know there's a lot of Simmers who get upset when their Sim's favorite drink is just water or something like that. It's kind of, you can't really change their favorite drink. So with MC Command Center, you can select their favorite umbrella. You can do a whole bunch of stuff in this MC Cast that you wouldn't be able to do like with a click of a button if you were in the regular Sims 4 game. This one is just like all the cheats in one. So you could do it really easily and not have to spend a whole 10 minutes trying to change all of these things. The next thing is MC Cheats. I basically live in this panel. But you can increase their funds, within the game. So if I wanted to, I could literally just give my Sim like $9 million, and they've got $9 million. I can also cheat my Sim info, so I can change their statistics in here to their, I believe this is the skills. So you can if I clicked on acting, I could change, their statistic for that. So you can also have expansion cheats. So depending on what expansions you have, you can come in here and basically cheat their expansion stuff. So if I wanted to have my sim go to university and I wanted her to get a Pacific degree or even enroll her in university and kind of bypass that, you're able to do that. So if I wanted to give her a Pacific degree, I could go in here and hit I want honors/prestige and then click on that and then click on whichever one you want them to have. So I guess we could probably do like villainy because she was my burglar sim. So this would probably be fitting for her. And now she's got that degree. So if I exit out of all of this, if we go down to her simology trait, right here, her villainy degree with her distinguished degree in villainy with honors. So it's right there. Click of a button again, and she didn't have to even go to university. The next thing that you can do is also occult cheats now. My sim is not an occult, so I can't really show you too much of the occult stuff, but there are a bunch of occult cheats in this game that you are able to do. You can increase points as well. So like your followers, you can increase that, your restaurant points, retail points, satisfaction points, and the veterinarian ones. So after increased points, you can also make your sim happy. So if you wanted to just cheat their like emotions and stuff like that, you can do that to make them happy, and then we'll just hit all to the motives being made happy, and then your sims will have all their motives complete. You can complete your aspiration goal. You can reset aspirations, and this is also a great way to reset your sim. So if they're stuck or if they're just not responsive, you can just click reset sim and you can see how she just reset. So that is pretty much it for the MC cheats. MC cleaner is something I've always kind of been, I've not really used that much, but basically you can perform various cleaning functions on sims, like selling all their inventory and moving it to another sim. So if I want to come on here, I can move the inventory to another sim, I can sell the household inventory, and I can sell the sim inventory. So, and then the next thing is MC dresser. This include or exclude Pacific clothing, clean existing outfits, change to a Pacific outfit, clothing stuff. So you can basically, again, go through here and mess around with it. I've never really messed around with this part of MC Command Center, so I am probably not the best person to ask about how to do this, but you are able to go in here and do a bunch of stuff with your dresser. The next one is MC pregnancy, which obviously in the name of it is pregnancies. You can basically start a pregnancy. So if I were to hit on my sim and you can either click on who you want, or you can click on the X and it will randomize that sim's like pregnancy. You can have a maximum of 3 babies. However, I'm pretty sure there's a way to up it, but we'll get into that later. You can either put in how many babies you want, or you can just hit OK and it will generate randomly. So she just got generated 1 female baby. You can also click on the pregnancy phase, so you can basically fast track a pregnancy. You can also, again, this is the offspring, so is dealing with this page that we just looked at. As you can see, now it went up to 2 female babies. You can specify the offspring count. So if you didn't want to have, triplets, you can just come in here and say 1 and just click OK. And now it's 1 male baby. You can change the partner for your sim. You can also pause the pregnancy, and you can pregnancy end it as well, and your sims won't get any negative emotions from that. Next thing on the list is MC Tuner. This is turn off autonomous interactions to help refine what sims will do when you're not controlling them. You're able to work with the autonomy of the sims, because sometimes sims just will not listen to you. So sometimes you got to go in there and be like, let me figure out like how to get you to listen to me. So this is a trait anatomy scan. We can click on that, and basically you can choose what is enabled and what is not enabled. As you can see, most of this stuff I think is enabled, and then you can also go on here to enable anatomy scan, and it will do that. So I'm not probably the best explanation for that, but again, it does give you a little like sentence as to what it does, so you can go in there and mess around with that. This is Sims flags, and this is flag sims for MCC and game specific behaviors. Examples of flags include no aging and no offspring. So if you go in here, basically I don't have any flags in my game. Again, I don't really use this panel because there is so much to MC Command Center, but I just feel like if you mess around with it yourself too, you can get to know it quite a bit. But if I click on like MC career, I can flag like freeze career and flag freeze university. That also goes like if I go into like MC pregnancy, I can flags affecting offspring. So yeah, you can basically flag certain sims for certain things. And then the next one is, this is flag active sims. I'm going to skip over that one and just go to relationships. So within the relationship panel, you can add a relationship. And what I've noticed with this one is if you hit like relationship, and then if I hit on like the first sim, it is, you can add them as son, brother, father, or add relationship bits. And within the bits portion of it, it's like family bits. So you can add in like cousin, grandson, grandfather, uncle. So it's not really adding like a friendship thing. It is more so like family bits. And I will get into like if you wanted to add an active relationship, you can do that. You can basically hit like set active relationship for a lot, and like if I wanted to, I could click like both male or female and then set active friendliness. And you can basically do this with sims as well. If you click on the other sim, you can click on them to have your sims become friends with them, and also with this like the romantic panel as well. So that's just a little run through. That's kind of self-explanatory to a degree. Like you can basically go in here and decide like which sims have a relationship with whom. You can add and delete people. So it is quite nice to be able to just go through really quickly and like add people and delete people and stuff like that. So you have that as well that you can do through MC Command Center. After that, that is majority of what you can do through your sim. But if you wanted to have a little bit more, you can go to the computer, or you can even go to your mailbox. Like my sim lives in the apartment, but if I were to go to MC Cheats, I could basically have this new panel that will come up with active household cheats. I can basically fill needs of the household, fill needs of the current lot, and clear active household flags. So that goes back to the flag section that we were talking about. You can also change lot details with the lot traits and challenges. You can go through here and change the world time. So if I wanted to have it be a different time, I could go on here and change that as well. We're not going to mess with that because I don't want to mess anything up. Not that you will, but I don't need to change the time in my game. So you can do deletion cheats as well. So you can come in here and delete, things on here that you don't want in your game. You can also do season cheats as well. So if you want to change the season, change weather, you want to have a random lightning strike a sim, you're able to do that. Now, I don't know why you'd be striking sims, but that's completely up to you. You can also have sim/NPC household cheats and come in here and basically go through these household things. I think we'll just click on MC Cleaner because you can run relationship cleaner and stuff like that. You can set all walk styles. You can summon a sim as well. So if you wanted to bring a sim, you can either type in their name, list all sims, or list no ghosts. You are able to do that and summon them to your location. So that is pretty much it for the mailbox section. If we go to our computer, this is where you kind of get a little bit more settings and stuff like that for the game that people love. This is sort of like my favorite part of the mod. Not even sort of, this is my favorite part. So this part, I'm going to try and be as brief as possible, but there is a lot to cover in this. But the first thing that we'll start off with is MCC settings for the mod. This is a great thing that I love, is the autosave. You can set this in your game. Now, I don't have it set because this is just a new save file. Now, it should move over, but I really haven't dove into MCC settings on this computer, but on my personal gameplay, I do use this stuff. Autosave is great because you can basically decide what you want to save. It will save it, I believe, every 30 minutes, I think. Don't quote me on that, but you can hit use autosave and you can hit enabled and it will automatically save your game at specific intervals. Note that autosaves will not happen during events that prevent saving. So like if a vampire breaks into your house and your computer crashes, it's going to save everything up until the vampire crashing. So I just want to let you know that. You can actually auto save slot numbers for your saves. You can do a whole bunch of stuff within this category. It's amazing because you're able to also save interval type. So if I wanted to do the real world hour, the sim day, or the sim hour, you're able to do that all in here. So you should not have an excuse of your game not saving if you have MCC Command Center. Although stuff does happen in The Sims, so, stuff happens, but you should be able to get your game saved through this. The other thing is you can do gameplay settings. Now, you guessed it, this has everything to do with gameplay, so you can set different settings in your game for like adoption. You can choose the side character values. You can do fame difficulty adjustments, so if you wanted to make it a little bit easier, you can do that. If you wanted to make it more difficult, you can do that. It's really up to you and what you want in your game. You can do game time speeds as well, so you can change it from going either slower or faster. So whatever you want to do on there, you can mess around with that. I'm not going to change it because, again, I'm not really playing this game like you would play a save file, but I'm just showing you. You can also change the maximum household size. Now, I do want to note that you can go up to 104, but doesn't mean that you should. The Sims set it to 8 because that is what works best for the Sims gameplay-wise and the laggy stuff within the Sims. But if you wanted to make it more, to add some more family members, you can, and just mess around with that. But again, the cast also will not function correctly to show all Sims in the household. So if you have more than 8 Sims after that, you won't be able to change them in cast, if that makes sense. But that is up to you and what you want to do with your maximum household. You can also change the maximum rename length, but I will also say again that sometimes it will modify it, and it might look weird, but again, completely up to you and what you want to do if you want to have longer names in The Sims. You can also change the mode of decay. So if you want it to go slower or faster, you're able to change that. Have like Sims are immortal. So if you don't want your Sims to die, you can click enable and they will live forever. You can also have like this Sims die on lot. You can have this enabled. If enabled, when Sims are killed with the kill sim command, the Reaper will only show up if they are on the lot. If they are wandering the streets, they will just turn to ghost. So you can decide what you want in that. I have it enabled just to stay the way it is because I don't need a bunch of Grim Reapers around my world. The other thing, you can choose skill settings. So you can basically go on here and decide, what you want with your skills. You can teleport Sims, and you can also use random aging. So those are for gameplay settings. Again, there's a lot to cover on this one, but you can also change money settings as well. You can allow child support, apartment bill percent. You can change the percent for your apartment bills. You can do auto bills, change bills. You can do a bunch of stuff on here. You can also set an inheritance as well for your Sims as well. But yeah, you can go in here and mess around with that. This is pretty much self-explanatory in my opinion as to what you want to do within your game. Again, with the relationship settings, you can allow for teen parenting in The Sims. You can auto relationship settings. So you can go in here and basically choose like breakup settings. I believe you can go in here, and if you had children with that Sim, you can, move children with the breakup, move out Sim, couples relationship change percent, and also the spouse relationship change percent. You can also go in here with the friendship difficulty and adjustment percentages. Again, these two are just changing the percentage and the adjustments of those friendship, if that makes sense. And you can do that as well for relationship stuff. Next thing is one of my favorites is I feel like sometimes the Sims age spans are very different. You either have short, normal, or long. Sometimes, like for me personally, I do not like playing on the short lifespan. You can barely get anything done on that. And I do not like playing on normal. I like long, but then long's too long. So on here, you can come in here and decide, oh, I like the long lifespan, so I'll click that. But if I wanted to click on like the baby, it'll show me what EA's default is, and I can put in however many days. I normally just half it. So I'll click 2 and then go from there and just hit OK. Now, if you see over here, it says days in the age span has been changed. A game restart is required. You will need to restart this. So I suggest when you're doing this age span, set them all. Get them all in line. So this is 20 days, so I would put 10 and then hit OK. It will all save. You'll just need to restart your game, but at least you're not having to go back and do it all one at a time. And you will also need to do this for your cats, dogs, and horses. Please don't forget to also change their lifespans too, so that you guys are all on the same lifespans. That's it for MCC settings, and then you can go into all these different modules, which will go on. MC cast, again, you can basically change all of the stuff that we talked about in here. Through MC career, this has to do with your career. You can bypass play households, career difficulty adjustments. So again, you can change the difficulty on those careers for promotion wise. Children can quit school. So if you don't want your child in school, you can have them have the ability to quit. You can also have your teens quit school as well. This is for neighborhood stories. You can alter the neighborhood stories. You can change the school homework progression. You can do the secret society decay percent. This is for university as well. So a lot of this stuff is self-explanatory, but it also is a big factor in how you play your game of how you want to set that up. MC Cleaner is the cleanup stuff that we were talking about. Basically, you can go in here and really go through like the detail logging, the item cleaner, neighborhood cleaner, relationship cleaner, and a sim cleaner. So you can through the sim cleaner, you can sync married names, which is also a setting through the relationship bits. When your sims get married, you can have them take whose ever last name it is. I think we haven't gotten there because that's in relationship. Hold on, let me check something real quick. If we go to relationship settings, I think we haven't gotten there yet. I think I'm talking ahead of myself right now. But with this, you can basically go through and decide what you want in the MC Cleaner. MC Clubs. This is about the Sims 4 clubs. You are able to, again, bypass played households. So this is when checking Sims for auto joining and leaving from clubs, bypass any played households rather than just the current active households. And you can do club member count. If you want to change that from 8, you can go up to 50. Sometimes this is nice, especially depending on what clubs that you were doing. I know a lot of people create clubs for like their families because before Growing Together came out, it was very hard to get families together. So they would make clubs, put all their family members in there and go and do events and stuff like that. So that would be very nice to be able to have the ability to make it higher so that you can have more people in there. You can have maximum joinable clubs. So I believe the default is 3, but that again goes up to 1 to 50. So if you wanted your Sims to be in more than 3 clubs, you're able to change it through MC Command Center. You can also monitor club members. So I have this disabled, but on scheduled nights, clubs will be filled with eligible Sims. If they are vacancies, also ineligible members will be removed. So you can enable that or disable that, whatever you want to do with clubs. I'm not too big on clubs in The Sims, so I don't really pay attention to it, but I know people do like them, so it's up to you and what you want to do. Next thing is MC Dresser. This goes back to the panel we were just on, but this is all the settings from it. So you can ages to run on age up. This is where I was talking about the MC occult, which is really where you can go and do, the occult settings. So for aliens, you can go up here and decide, for the abduction pregnancy settings. That's right. When your male Sims get abducted by the aliens, they have a chance of coming back pregnant. You can go on here and decide the percentage, ages, and go through all of this stuff to really, you can either make it more or less. You can have your, Sims get abducted every day or not. It depends. You can force the alien disguise, maximum aliens and other pregnancies too on here. You can do it for mermaids as well. So there's a bunch of different settings for that. If we go to spellcasters, the maximum spellcasters and other pregnancies. When I say maximum, I mean like it's how many spellcasters in the world and stuff like that you can decide how many you want. Vampires as well. They have a little bit more because they've been out for a minute. So you can go in here and decide a bunch of stuff for your vampires. You can also do werewolves as well. So those are your MC occult settings. MC population, in the name of it, it is all with population. So moving settings is basically, again, dealing with moving. So you have all of these settings that you can do with your, Sims when it comes to moving. Open houses, I believe the number of residential lots to not move Sims into automatically within the world. So I know The Sims 4 has a setting in their gameplay settings when it comes to how many Sims can live in the houses and if you want them to be, all filled or not. So with this, you have more, say over your moving settings in the world. You can also move teens as dependents too and stuff like that, and then move single Sims. You can do a whole bunch of stuff within this MC population. There's also populating settings. So basically this is the percent of, well, you guessed it, the population in your Sims 4 game. So if you wanted more or less of something, you can come in here and choose, those settings for that. You can also enable and disable bar nights. You can do random lot challenges, neighborhood settings, stories, and then you can also have other settings in here for, all of this stuff in here as well. Next up is MC pregnancy. Again, this is where there's a lot of settings, and I think this is what I was talking about. If I go to other marriage, this is where you can either hit like the manually rename spouses. So right now it's set to none, but it determines whether to rename NPC or played Sims after a random marriage. So you can basically decide if you want your Sims to take their spouse's last name or not. I'm just going to leave that one blank because, again, I'm not playing on this Sims game. You can move families, you can remove service limit, rename opposite sex, rename same gender, same neighborhood, or use traits for marriage. But we'll go into adoption settings. So with adoption settings, you can choose like the ages, the percent, opposite sex adoption, percent. I believe this is for the percentage chance that an opposite sex couple will adopt a child rather than have one through pregnancy. So this is for, I believe, NPCs as well, because you can choose the amount, like the value of how many Sims in your world will adopt and not have a single Sim, go through pregnancy, if that makes sense. And then you can rename non-active adoptions. So this determines whether to rename an adopted child for an NPC or played Sim after same-sex relationships. I believe this is for like the last name. So right now it includes active Sims only, but you can change it to where if you want it to have them all do that, or just certain ones have that. And then this is same-sex adoption percent, so you can decide, the percentage for that in your game. Marriage Sim selection, basically this allows, homeless marriage. This is like the marriage section of it. So yeah, this is all marriage. And then again with neighborhood stories, I'm not going to click on that because again, I think it's just the same one that we've been seeing. Offspring on here, you can decide the identical offspring chance if your Sims have like twins, triplets, quadruplets, quintuplets, whatever mods you have in your game that might allow you to have more offspring. You can decide the chance of how they will come out. Inherit trait type, you can have it to where your Sims will inherit certain traits depending on their parents. Maximum household children, this basically is a maximum number of children a Sim will have during their lifetime. It is set to 3. That one I'm not too sure about, but I think this goes for NPC as well, of how many children they will have. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think this might be for your pregnancies and stuff, that you can decide how many children your Sims can be pregnant with in a lifetime. So this also goes back to, I think this is pretty much like if I wanted to have it up to 6, then that means that my Sims could be pregnant with up to 6 babies, so like 6tuplets. You can rename a non-active offspring and then sync child's surname to whatever surname you want it to sync to. There's a whole lot on this MC pregnancy. You can do other pregnancy, which is, allows pregnancy aging. I don't know if people know this, but in The Sims, you can't have your Sim age while they're pregnant. They don't age while they're pregnant, so this will allow it. Basically, you can go through all of these things and decide what you want to keep and stuff. There's a whole lot in this MC pregnancy section. I think it kind of speaks for itself, and you can go through here and mess around with it. The last one is MC Tuner. This MC Tuner module allows changing the way interactions behave, so you can go through here and decide what you want to change and keep. And then this is to reset settings. So if you didn't like the settings that you have and just wanted to start from scratch, you can do that. And that brings us to the end of this walkthrough. Hopefully you learned a little bit. I know it wasn't really in-depth, but I explained it to the best of my abilities. I know it can be confusing, but hopefully you are learning something about MC Command Center or feel a lot better about downloading it into your game now that it's been explained. This is definitely a must-have mod for every simmer out there that plays with mods. This is one of the first mods I always tell people to download, because it literally is a lifesaver in The Sims. Like, there are things that when I take this mod out that I forget that is through MC Command Center that makes my life 10 times easier. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments if you learned anything or if you feel a lot better about downloading this mod. But until then, I will see you all Wednesday for our Black Widow challenge. I'm pretty sure we're on episode 5.